We're starting off here in Nigeria with the Punch newspaper. On the front page of the Punch, the big story here says, NRC suspends Lagos-Kano Ajaokuta train services. Gunmen shoot at passenger cars, buses at Ajaokuta. 6 vigilantes feared killed. Travelers panic. Corporation stops Lagos-Kano route to avoid attacks in Mina. Kaduna tightens security. Now, of course, I think this is totally understandable with the whole attacks that have been inflicted on not just individuals, but those who have plied the trains. It seems that the train route has become some form of stronghold for terrorist attacks, with the victims of the Abuja-Kaduna train attack still in custody. Impeachment. Shoika backs lawmakers against Buhari on page 15. Lawmakers have given the president an ultimatum which keeps reducing by the day to either fix insecurity or leave power. We wonder how this would eventually turn out. Kerosene hits 800 naira to the liter. Nigerians face hard times. Back in the day, kerosene was seen as, the less privileged people. A lot of people who couldn't afford to buy gas. But now it's even a luxury to be able to afford kerosene to cook. 800
I can't even
naira.
imagine what they're currently using.
I don't even know. They probably would resort to firewood or something.
Yeah, which is very dangerous, And remember, we're talking about the environmental hazards that also brings.
It's really a catch-22. Tinubu's government will be fair to all, says Shetima on page 9. Manufacturers slashed investment by 56% amid shutdowns. That's on page 23. We still have, if you look at the picture here, the big picture says, restructure Osun APC now. Osun APC members protest, demand chairman sacking. The details of that's on page 2. Ondo hospital rations fuel. Patient dies during surgery. Ooh, page 4 and 5. I don't know how to feel about the story. 21 killed in Lagos Cross River clashes. FRC blames fog. 21 killed in Lagos Cross River crashes, I beg your pardon. FRC blames fog. UK licenses 266 Nigerian doctors in 2 months. That's on page 10. NDLEA dismantles Lagos Anambra drug laws, arrests barons. That's all that we can take this morning. It looks like good news. UK is licensing 266 Nigerian doctors. But Joe, we're seeing that as the UK is licensing these 266 Nigerian doctors, what this means for us is that we're having a mass migration of doctors. We're having a large shortage in the medical space.
Absolutely. That's a lot of trouble. That spells doom, if you put it that way, because we're expecting to have a lot of doctors remain here, especially those who go abroad to study and improve in their profession, and hopefully they get back to the country. But this time, brain drain. I recall some months ago, we had a guest here on Breakfast Central who said, while he was talking to us live on the program, he said, a few hours from now, a few of his colleagues will be jetting out. Doctors, I mean. So it's worrisome.
Very worrisome indeed. But
worrisome.
that's all the paper that we can take this morning on The Punch. Over to you, Joe.
All right, let's take a look at what's going on in Zimbabwe. Taking a look at the time that we have and what's happening. It's just one big story there, and it has this big header there. It says, no more shock therapy, Mangudia. No more shock therapy. Now, why shock therapy? Well, this is the reason. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, there's RBZ, the governor, the one you can see on the front page there. His name is John Mangudia. He says Zimbabweans should not expect more shock therapy statements when he presents his midterm monetary policy statements. Now, don't forget that Zimbabweans have been subjected to shock announcements before government desperately stitches together plans to arrest economic decline. So there's been a lot of economic downturn, especially with expectations coming from Emerson Mnangagwa. But unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet. And people are starting to take this header this morning, and of course, right from yesterday, as meaning more trouble. So no more shock therapy, meaning that should we expect not to be shocked because we already know we have economic decline, or should we expect to be happy and not shocked because we have indeed improved in our economic situation? So that's exactly one of the biggest stories making the front page on Newsday. You want to learn some more about what Zimbabwe is going through? Pick it up, and it will surely make a good read.
All right, and let's move from Zimbabwe to South Africa this morning and see what's on the Sowetan. It shows there, Zama's undermine relations. And it's talking about some persons that may be causing issues between two communities. It says Lesotho is worried that its nationals involved in illegal mining and other crimes in South Africa are putting a strain on good neighborliness between the two countries. These incidents would promote attacks against Basotho residing in South Africa. Also on the Sowetan this morning, Simbine not feeling the love, and that's the Sprint King who is unappreciated in South Africa. Just a few stories actually. Katlego Mabao back on television. You can find that on page 10. And well, there's an article there titled "My Physician is Jesus." It's a story there. Mayowa Judge hits back at Tefo, and that's on page 4. Just a few stories actually on the Sowetan this morning. But you could also see pictures of a group of illegal miners who have their hands cuffed behind their backs after they were arrested in Randfontein, West Rand yesterday. But of course, these stories can be found on page 3 of the Sowetan this morning in South Africa.
All right, now let's go to Uganda. The front page this morning of the Daily Monitor. 29 dead, 7 missing in Mbale City floods. The Saturday night to dawn downpour leaves schools, homes, gardens and roads in the Elgon region in ruins, with officials turning the heat on government over disaster preparedness. Now government says it will pay families of the affected 5 million shillings. 5 million can certainly not bring back the dead. Really, thoughts and prayers with the ones who are mourning their loved ones. But now more than ever, we must make climate action a priority. It's a conversation that must be had. We have at the top of the paper, Kiplimo smashes Commonwealth Games record. And on page 3, government unveils 300 billion shillings plan to end hunger. And on page 4, we have Chief Justice to give keynote speech at Monitor Lecture. Kenya goes to elections in 6 days' time. That's on page 32. And final story here. St. Kizito pilgrimage site reopens after 2 years.